Hello and welcome to the 2021 Macabre Month of Horror. If you're new to Brickwall Pictures, the Macabre Month of Horror is a yearly series I do every October where I look back at and review horror films from all around the world. Make sure you check out past year's Macabre Months of Horror. Links to each full playlist are in the description.
It is a movie called Demons. Yes, the demons are coming, and they're coming for you. Warning, if you have the courage to see demons, sit near an exit. Otherwise, you might never get out.
Today I'm looking back at the 1985 Italian horror film Demons, which is regularly misconstrued as a Dario Argento film, but it isn't. I mean, you'd be forgiven for thinking that since his name is fucking huge on the poster, but you gotta pay heed to the teeny tiny little presents right under his name. The true director was Lamberto Bava, the son of famed Italian horror filmmaker Mario Bava. When you hear Italian horror film, there's a good chance you think of the giallo subgenre, but Demons does not fall under that umbrella. It's essentially a contained zombie movie, even though they're technically demons. And since it's an Italian horror movie from the 80s, all of the dialogue is horribly dubbed, and it already sucks to begin with. If you're inexperienced with Italian horror from the 70s and 80s, it is something you have to get past. Get used to. You could call the plot and character development of Demons minimalist. Or you could just call it lazy. There's not a lot going on story-wise, despite there being 4 writers involved in the screenplay. This is probably one of the most contained zombie films you will see, outside of something like Pontypool. Outside of brief bookends at either end of the film, the vast majority of Demons takes place within the confines of a rather bizarre movie theater. It's a place that features architecture about as consistent as that moving staircase hall in Harry Potter. You'll need to pretend the rules of space and time aren't needed if you hope to track the movements of these characters without scratching your head. There's just enough setup that conveys the general idea of a story to then deliver a gore fest for the rest of the runtime. Some of the deaths are actually pretty surprising and, of course, gruesome. It's hard to predict which of these people will die and in what order, but that's mainly by virtue of the fact that there's hardly any character development for any of them. There's one woman who fills out the protagonist role, not that we learn anything about her at all, but we spend an extra couple of minutes with her at the beginning. Still, they do a pretty good job at least distinguishing all of these theater patrons from one another through wardrobe and basic surface appearance things that don't require any exposition or eat up any runtime, so that we can, keep track of who's who and who's still ticking. I felt so bad for the old blind man. He just wanted to have a horror movie described to him out loud in a movie theater, and they did him so dirty. They chose the most counterintuitive way to kill him too, by having a demon ram her fingers through his eyes. It's like, hello, he's already blind. Most of the special effects look excellent. The effects shots that don't look so good are bizarrely the most simple effects. Demon teeth busting out underneath regular teeth looks great. A brain being crushed out of the back of a woman's head looks great. A little scratch on someone's cheek looks fucking awful. How did that happen? Maybe there was like a trainee on the SPFX team and they got handed the simple stuff and they just fucked it up. Also, a guy snorts coke in this movie, but he does it out of a Coke can. Through a bendy straw, too. I don't have anything else to say about it, just wanted to point it out. The soundtrack features plenty of badass music from Claudio Simonetti, who, if you aren't familiar, was a key member of the prog rock band Goblin. And if you aren't familiar with Goblin, then you're missing out. They scored a number of horror movies, most notably collaborating frequently with the aforementioned Dario Argento. Goblin was broken up at this point in time, so you don't get the full band, just Simonetti, but he still does a great job. For much of the runtime, Demons is just barely hanging together. It's all just an excuse for some fun gore, creative kills, and a couple of badass moments. Whenever the gore fest slows down for a moment and the characters get to talking, the seams of the film become a little more pronounced, and the whole thing threatens to fall apart. Luckily, there aren't too many lulls once blood starts spurting. If you like this particular avenue of horror, the kind that you cannot at all take seriously but it is a lot of fun, then I recommend Demons. If you need your horror to be legitimately creepy and unnerving, then look elsewhere. And that elsewhere you can look is in the rest of this Macabre Month of Horror playlist, and the playlist for previous years that I've been doing this series. Make sure you subscribe to Brickwall Pictures for the rest of the Macabre Month of Horror and everything else that I put out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.